Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I have got a little bit of a best of one game coming up. It is a bit of PvZ on Akalomwe. So without further ado, in the top left position we have got the blue Protoss player from Team XMG, it's ToD. And in the bottom right, the red Zerg player from Team X5, it is PiG. Now I've had the pleasure to cast both of these two frequently through WCS, and also PiG really did a solid run at DreamHack Summer. Of course I was community casting there, it was good to see him. I know that a nice friend of mine, Duckville, he was pretty hyped to be casting PiG lots because PiG is a fellow Australian, and he was just like, yeah, I'm on those games because they are going to be pretty damn spiffing. So yeah, I'm really happy to be casting this game. I know it's a pretty good one. I've been told by some people who've watched it, they're like, yes, this game, good, like thumbs up. And if I had a webcam on right now, you would have seen me literally act out the way that they gave me a thumbs up, and they're like, yeah, watch it. Because I am that cool, and this is actually one of the reasons I don't put the webcam on me during game, because if I had it like down in this box at the bottom left, I would look pretty ridiculous most of the time. I'd just sit here and I'd be getting overexcited, I'd be jumping around. Sometimes I even end up standing up and kind of getting really way too into casting. So what can I say? I'm a hyperactive little puppy. But yes, so far this game we've got PiG going for a pool first because that's a safe thing to do against Protoss. ToD though, he's like, gateway expands are the new meta. I do not want to do these crazy forward fast expansions on a map with a natural ramp that big. Hell no. I want to go for a gateway expand. I want to keep things nice and safe. I want to make sure that I can get my mothership core out, and then I got my photon overcharge, and ha, you're a Zerg. Unless I come over with my mothership core, you ain't got nothing that can attack that my side of the base for a long time. So defensively, I'll be pretty happy. I can get my wall off down and it'll all be good. Meanwhile, PiG, obviously, yeah, Hatchery coming down. Doesn't need to rush out a third because, yeah, gateway expand, you don't need that kind of 4 minutes 20 third base. You can be happy getting it about 6 minutes 30. But it does mean that you need to get a gas down, and that's why this Overlord coming in right now, this is a hero Overlord. Because in a few short moments, it's going to see, ooh, no pylon, no wall off. That means one thing, that it wasn't a fast expansion, and therefore I need to take a gas. So I'm expecting to see PiG take one in a second. Apparently a bit of lag happening there. The probe even going to get spotted here on its way down. Going to be like, hey probe, I wonder what you're doing, and then an Nexus appears. That's a pretty big giveaway of what the opening is. PiG not taking the gas yet, interestingly. Instead, just really trying to squeeze out as much as he can. Actually going to go and take this third base. Ooh. Ooh, look at that timing of that third. Around, it was about 355, which for a third base timing against the gateway expand is a really bold move. And the reason it's so bold is because basically now PiG doesn't have an extractor down, won't have Zergling speed to deal with, say, a Zealot and Stalker pushing across the map. And with a Mothership core as well, if you don't have Zergling speed, that can actually be a right nightmare to try and deal with. And so I think this is a brave move by PiG, and as long as ToD isn't aggressive, it'll pay off for him. It'll be nice, but as we see, more gateways are coming down. The extractor only just on its way for PiG here. Of course, he's not going to be able to get roaches for a long period. He won't have Zergling speed for quite a while. Only 2. There's the third, or should I say 4th gate, because there's one already in the main. A 4th gateway coming down, so this is going to be a bit of delayed 4-gate pressure out of that 1-gate expand. And this could pose a problem to PiG, because if he's not really cautious, if he doesn't identify this quickly, which he probably will, he's got a little Zergling going on a mini adventure over to the other base. But yeah, he's got to see this coming. He's got to see these gates really fast. I don't actually believe it has been scouted. No, it hasn't. So PiG doesn't really know what's coming down here, and it's important that he does find out what that is, because this 4-gate pressure could be a bit of an issue for him if he doesn't get out enough units. We can see already this Mothership core is doing a nice little bit of damage. Good placement of these Zerglings and Overlords just to make sure that PiG has got a good idea of if there's any pylons coming down. Great Zergling play. Now up comes that Ling, sees the 3 gateway, sees the Zealot, and now he knows what should be coming. The Rosharon is already on its way down, so he should be able to pump enough units in order to defend that. Notice he's only on 1 gas at the moment, so he hasn't got the resources to afford Zergling speed yet, so it's going to be Slowlings and Roaches defending against this, which is fine, as long as you don't get overrun too quickly. Now, ToD, he's just busy chrono boosting probes behind this. He's like, you know what? I'm in a comfortable place. I'm in my happy place right now. I can put on a bit of pressure once my warp gate finishes in 6 seconds, and then it's really up to PiG to do something back to me. Otherwise, I'm just gonna macro. He can even look to go and take this third relatively quickly, because you can knock out that rock tower. take down the rocks, put a cannon here or whatever, and just be like, yeah, you're not coming in there, bro. Now, Pylon is coming down here, really quick reinforcement distance. Are there going to be some stalkers? No, just zealots at the moment, which is not going to be too great when all the pig is doing is getting a good number of roaches down. But this hatchery already starting to get focused. Is there any corner boots coming down on the gateways? Yes, there are. So this is now going to just be ToD going full on for this. He's like, okay, I need to get another wave of units in ASAP. And the zealots are doing as best they can against this hatchery, but won't be able to take it out because the roaches just dismantle those zealots so ridiculously quickly. There's even a queen down now. That's a bit of a problem because the queen can start chipping away at that mothership core, but the hatchery, so desperate to try and get destroyed, will survive with 167 health. So that's pretty good for Pig. He gets to keep that up. He gets to therefore keep the lava production, the extra mining base that comes with having that hatchery still there. And that means the Pig, he's going to be quite happy because he held off a pretty aggressive opening, and he's going to counter that aggression with some of his own. These roaches, these zerglings making their way across the map. +1, only just on its way down. Now we can see another pylon on its way there. A photon cannon. The sentries are slowly working down on those rocks, and with the sentries there, you're not going to be able to break up that ramp anytime soon. And so that's why we're seeing Pig instead just fall back. Make sure it's all looking good. He needs to try and stop these two zealots coming in, actually, because they're heading straight for this hatchery. It's getting dangerously low on health. It should now get sniped down. It won't be saved. And that with one final hit from that zealot. He will die, but what a sacrifice. He got rid of that third hatchery. ToD is going to be... He's going to be over the moon about that, and it doesn't take much for ToD to be over the moon because he can basically reach it. He is so tall. Now, yeah, rocks are down. Rock tower probably going to go and get annihilated soon. A third base needs to get secured by ToD here, but Pig, he's got to retake that third, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and tries to take a double expand to get that fourth out, because he's going to be economically behind, having lost that third hatchery, especially when he's produced just so many units, and they didn't even save the hatch. So this is a bit of a painful position for Pig, who is getting down his hydrogen, knowing that his opponent is unlikely to have much tech, and the only reason you wouldn't want Hydralisks down is if there's any Colossi, because if there's Colossi, then they're going to do some good damage, but without them, you're going to be fine. Now these roaches, oh, they're playing a dangerous game. That rock tower can get crushed on top of them if ToD so wanted to do something that stylish, but he can also just use these sentries and stalkers in order to just trap all of these roaches very effectively and pick them apart one at a time. So good play here coming down from the XMG player. Pig trying to put on a bit of pain, but losing those roaches who are doing very little. We can see from the resources lost, Pig having lost quite a chunk more than that of ToD, and as a result of that, he needs to really start catching up economically, because ToD as well is only a few workers behind. He's got his third on its way, and that's not too far behind the hatchery either. So this is something that is definitely going to need to see Pig do something great. He's got to make sure that he keeps that up. He's got to make sure that he shuts down this army pretty hard, but just does he have enough stuff? At the moment, the answer seems like no. He's got very few units on the field. Just a handful of speedlings. The queens are coming in. Some force fields will trap a sentry, a stalker, and a zealot. But the mothership core does have enough energy for that mass recall, the wall of force fields, and now all ToD needs to do is make sure that he focuses down this hatch and then goes for the recall, and he'll be absolutely fine. He gets another good force field, preventing units chasing him down. Is he going to be able to secure this hatchery kill once again? If he does, that will put him in a fantastic spot. But Pig, with just a few too many units there, the mass recall goes down. ToD rather playing it safe than playing it too risky. He knows that he's got his third, and he knows that this third base has yet to be effective for Pig. Therefore, he's going to be comfortable with his economy. If we take a look at the worker count, he's only 2 probes behind the drone count. That is great news. But Pig, he's switching into Mutalisks. That can always be a bit of a thorn in the side of Protoss players. You can see the wall off here by ToD. He's just making sure that no speedling run-bys can occur, and he is just going to keep a good vision out with that observer there. Pig, meanwhile, is trying to take a 4th base, which was always going to be quite expected because he needs to get that base up. You can see with this Overlord now that, hey, a pylon down there. I know you were getting a Nexus. I've got to make sure that I am staying a base up on you. Blink also on its way here. And yeah, this is now where we've just got more stalkers, more sentries, all gallivanting around, having a bit of a party. These rocks getting taken down because you need the quick reinforcement distance in there to be able to move around. Of course, one of the big dangers of this map, Akalon Wastes, is this cliff area, because if you get your units trapped in here, you can get walled off, and if you don't have those rocks down, getting anything in there to defend can be a right nuisance. But now ToD's starting to push forward again, but this is a very low-tech army, just gateway units. We've also got 10 Mutalisks just about to hit the field. This could be a bit of a problem for ToD, because even though he's got 14 stalkers, there's already 6 mutas out, 4 more on the way. That'll take us to 10 with +1. The Hallucinating Phoenix sees this. The Roaches are starting to push forward. ToD does not want to take this fight. Will he start Stargate production to make some Phoenix in order to try and counter the Mutalisks, or will he just hope to rely on Blink alone? Well, you can rely on Blink alone, but it can be a dangerous move, especially if there's a big commitment to mutas, which it looks like PiG is going to be gunning towards. He's got 4 more on the way to join the 10 already down. That takes him up to 14, and he's going to try and start picking up some probes here, getting a couple of kills already because the Photon Cannon, it isn't down yet, and as long as he doesn't lose any mutas here, this is going to be nothing but good news for him. He slowly works away at a couple of workers there. 6 workers killed on each side. The main base starting to get a little low here for ToD. He's only got a couple of resources left on it. He's got the he's got the single upgrades coming down with +2 there, but now the double upgrades are starting, which is what I was really hoping to get down as early as possible, because PiG actually, his economy, that's not in a great spot. It's slowly getting there. He's just now only at the 15-minute mark, getting above the 70 drone mark. But the trouble is his upgrades. He's only got +1 flyer attack. He's got no ground upgrades at all, and that means that ToD is starting to get a monumentous lead in terms of that, with 2-2 on their way. The War Prism is going to warp in a good number of Zealots here. Can PiG get back in time to defend? Well, we see now the Zerglings coming in. The Zealots have got one target in mind, though, and that is the Spire. The Zealots down on the 4th base are doing a bit more damage. All the while, ToD is pushing through in the main base. These Zealots have decided against trying to annihilate the Spire and instead go straight for those Zerglings. The War Prism does get taken out, but this has given ToD the chance to move forward. But I'm not sure how confident he's feeling here at the moment, because there's a lot of units on the field, a lot of Mutalisks as well. 22 of them are there. They outnumber the Stalkers. A couple of Stalkers are going to get caught. They blink back. The Force Fields are really good there for ToD, though, and that means the PiG is not able to get the surround, and ToD can get back to survive and fight another day. The 5th base also coming down here for PiG. He's just making sure that he's trying to stay a base up. He doesn't yet know if that base has gone down, this 4th base for ToD, but he does know that he's got a huge Mutalisk flock, and he can just start running in there. They've got +1. They start hitting really hard. All the while, Roaches are just looking to come and start knocking at the front door, while the Mutalisks take it in the back, and this is now where a lot of probes can go down. There's a good number of Mutalisks here. We can see the damage already going down really nicely. A few Mutalisks are going to fall. The Roaches, though, they're pushing up. We've got more mutas coming to the other side. This is PiG just trying to get ToD to be everywhere, doing a little ring around the rosy. But that is fine, because ToD, he cannot defend everywhere. So PiG looking good. He's actually going to try and engage head-on now with these Mutalisks. But, of course, the Stalkers are 2-1 in terms of the upgrades, up against 1-0 for these Mutalisks. But a good blink underneath means that a lot of those mutas are going to go down. Not the best engagement there from PiG, but he will get a couple of probes. Meanwhile, he is still pushing with the Roaches up into the main. He's got a good number of Mutalisks ready to head back into the main base of ToD. The Mutalisks down here are picking up some more probes. All of ToD's army is forcing to be very defensive for the moment, but is it going to be enough? Because the Mutalisks are back in the main base. We can see now the PiGs managed to kill 25 probes this game, taking him to 77 to just 50. There's the Stalkers, though. Big blink back. A lot of Stalkers here. A lot of Mutalisks are going down. And remember that Mutaflock, it has been considerably weakened after that engagement after engagement, and that's with all of these reinforcements here. So that's a good, like, 12 Mutalisks there, which still only bring the number back. So at least 12 Mutalisks have gone down in that engagement. Was it worth it? Well, it's a lot of resources. Let's take a look at the resources lost. We can see PiG's still losing about 1,500 more resources than that of his opponent, but ToD is still confined to just these 3 bases, whereas PiG, he's expanding everywhere. But look, a War Prism there, warping in a couple of DTs, a couple of Zealots too. These drops could be quite devastating to PiG, because he doesn't have any static defense around anywhere, and all of his army is over the other side. The Mutalisks pushing in here to the 3rd, but there is ToD. He's coming back trying to defend this, but the Mutalisks getting some good shots off. The Roaches and Speedlings have penetrated into the natural base, though, and this now is where ToD can lose a lot of probes. PiG, he's streaming those Speedlings up. The Roaches are the natural, more reinforcements on their way in. The Zealots, though, they're being dropped into the main. DTs are starting to work their way through everything. The Zealots, Zerglings are doing some good damage in the main base, though. The Roaches finally now getting cleaned up. The Mutalisks coming into the 3rd. There's action everywhere at the moment. The Spire, it's trying to get focused. There's still this DT working away, and Overseer morphing in. The Mutalisks just destroying the 3rd base of ToD. The natural base has been ransacked, and the main is getting devastated. Finally getting cleaned up by those DTs. The Stalkers trying to pick apart the remaining Mutalisks. The DTs here in the natural base, in the 4th base, and the Zealots in the main are doing a good number on PiG's base. So these two both losing considerable amounts on both sides. The natural nexus now falls, and as you can see, with the Mutalisks coming back to try and defend this, the Overseer desperate to get there. What is the damage report? Well, Look at the harvest account, 36 to 40. In terms of the resources lost, Pig has lost considerably more, over 5,000 resources more, but ToD has lost a mining base, and that is the one thing the Pig managed not to lose. He's still got all of these hatches up for the time being, and that means that he can remake those drones fairly quickly as long as he starts pumping them out. He's got 35 to 42 workers. But can he just get enough of them back out in time? Well, we'll have to wait and see. He's very starved in terms of minerals. He needs to really start focusing on that. Needs to get those remaining drones back to mining those minerals to get that income coming back in solid. Zealots are running around at the moment still. We've got DTs running around still. This is ToD, just trying to make sure that his opponent cannot get back into full flow. 7 drones are in production. The Mule is trying to come back here as the DT starts working away. This extractor starts working away at the drones. A couple more getting taken down. 20 kills on this DT already. That is a hero DT. And of course, when ToD is playing, you have to make sure that you keep a count of unit kills, because that's his favorite thing to do as a caster, is let you know how many kills each unit's got, especially if it starts getting up into the double digits. Now this Zealot has been taken out. We have still got Pig trying to be on the offensive with these Mutalisks, trying to pick off everything and anything that he can find, anything that may be going a little stray. But look at the number of Archons. ToD's just like, if you want to move your Mutalisks in here and start clumping them up to try and fight, go for it. I've got these Archons. Of course, ToD's upgrade still looking absolutely marvellous. 3-2 up against 1-1. That is a pretty big lead, but 15 more drones are getting pumped out here. Pig knows that the economy is where he can win this. If only he can get enough drones out. He's got that additional mining base. ToD is mined out at his main. His natural isn't rebuilt, so he's really only mining off this natural base. And if we look at the income, Pig has just got a staggeringly larger amount of minerals coming in per minute, but his gas income is near 0, and that is because he's got a good amount of gas in the bank and he needs those minerals to get the units out. ToD, though, he's starting to push forward. He's pulling back some of these Stalkers as the Mutalisks just go to town on this natural, but the Stalkers, they're already doing some really nice damage. The Zerglings are trying to make their way across. Archon's now coming in here. Things not looking too good for Pig at the moment. He might have had the economy for a little while, but now, of course, ToD pushing him with these Stalkers. He's taken out the 3rd hatchery. The Archons, and the Stalkers doing a number on, I believe, the 5th base. And the Mutalisks, they've also been taken out. So that is the problem. They've been forced back. They've had no choice but to retreat, and that is allowing ToD to just really make sure that he keeps that natural up while dealing some good damage. These Stalkers have got to be quite cautious, though, because they can get caught out of position. There's still 16 Mutalisks down, and that's something that you want to be very, very careful about, because that is a lot of mutas, and they can deal a considerable amount of damage, especially with the 2-0 upgrades that they're currently sitting at. Those +2 flyer attack allows them to hurt like a boss, and that's something that ToD does not want to go head up to, especially without his Archons there. With the 7 Archons, though, he can easily take that fight. So, as we see, ToD now just starting to get a bit braver. He knows that the Pig is going to be hurting. He knows the Pig has lost some hatcheries, but at the same time, these photon cannons, they are just getting ransacked here. There's just so much damage being done by these Mutalisks. They're constantly forcing ToD to try and pull back, but small splinter groups are going on the offensive, and this is such smart play by ToD, because what it means is that even though he's being forced back to defend, he's still dealing the damage that is essential to allow him to win this game. A lot of probes could go down here. These Mutalisks are still doing a nice job. The majority of ToD's army is now falling back, ready to try and get into the defense, but look at the losses on each side. 99 drones killed by ToD this game. That is pretty big. 69 killed by Pig, though. So both of these two losing an incredible amount. Pig there sitting with the mass spine crawler wall. ToD tried to just punch straight through it, but even the Archons not able to take this much poking. Not even the biggest Facebook addict pokes this much. And this is a problem for ToD, because he's lost that little attacking force that was really allowing him to trade somewhat equally. And now ToD is down to just this 1 mining base. 22 probes to 32 drones, but Pig, he's lost most of his mining bases too. So which way this game will go, only time will tell him. Probably going to come down to the army supply that's down in the moment, and ToD is a bit ahead there, so that's going to help him in any head-up trades. The Muta count also down to 6, which means that everyone that gets taken out is a massive loss, and they're not able to go head-to-head with these Stalkers, let alone the Archons. A DT and a Zealot here are going to force a cancel on this 5th base, and this is devastating for Pig. because he so desperately needed to keep that in order to get his economy somewhat fruitful for the later stage of this game. But with 27 minutes in, ToD seems to be taking a slight lead, but of course this hidden base up in the top position, this could be the saving grace for PiG. He's also still trying to re-secure back his fourth, and if he's able to do that, it'll be good. The hero DT on its way in. There was a spore crawler trying to get made, but the DT not even worrying about that, just going straight for the drones. He's like, do you know how many drones I can kill before that spore crawler finishes? The answer is a lot. This DT gonna rack up 15, 16, probably even 17 kills before it goes down, and that of course means that now ToD has killed 115 drones this game. He's knocked his opponent down to just 34. The roaches in the center are getting completely caught out of position by these blink stalkers. A lot going down there, and these are units that PiG just cannot afford to lose. He's completely broke, as is ToD, I might add, but ToD has got a monumentally larger army supply, 76 to 35. That is definitely the sort of position that ToD is going to be happy in being in. The mutas are coming in, trying to do a little poking, a little bit of prodding, a few more stalkers trying to get warped through, but 2 stalkers are not going to be able to engage this. Down here though, overseers are getting taken out, 2 drones getting pulled back because this hatchery is gonna fall, and this means now that PiG, in terms of income, he's got essentially nothing, and that is a problem for him. These stalkers could blink forward if they wanted to, but choosing not to. Instead, these roaches, which unfortunately are on move command, going into the slaughterhouse by their own means. That of course means that, well, PiG, he's down to half the supply of ToD at the moment. Things looking very good for the blue Protoss player. He's just cleaning up these additional hatches, and if this base falls and is forced to cancel, I don't really see a way back into this for PiG, because he doesn't have the standing army he needs. Only 25 army supply, 3 mutalisks and 9 roaches. That can't engage this army, and while he's got a nice turtle up position here, ToD can just sit back, defend his, even these 2 bases, he can defend those with photon cannons and just slowly build back up an army until a point he can punch through those spine crawlers. He could even possibly do it now. He's got so many stalkers, such great upgrades as well. 3-2 up against 1-2 upgrades for the Zerg. That's really not a good position for PiG to be in, but ToD, he's played this so well. Those little splinter groups that he sent off, while putting most of his army back to defend, he sent just small groups off to pick out the hatcheries, and that is, in my opinion, what's allowed ToD to win this. Really nice play. He is now starting to push forward for the win. He's going to try and take out this 4th base down in the bottom position, and with nothing here to defend it, unfortunately the drones are going to have to try and move back. There's a good number of stalkers there. The Archons as well are just going to start dealing some good splash damage. There's the blink forward. There's the hatchery going down. There's 2 mutalisks trying to go for a bit of counter pressure. Not going to be able to. A Zealot has even discovered this base to the bottom left, but ToD, he's at 130 supply to just 30. 100 supply advantage is a pretty good spot to be in, no matter what stage of the game you're at. And so I think now PiG is on the final deathbed. He's got a few last words to say, but with only 7 roaches and these 2 mutas, I don't think those words are going to be particularly insightful. The Zealot just slowly working away at this hatch. There is a couple of drones trying to come out, but those drones, they're not going to be much help. They're going to come straight out and realize that, hey, I've got no bases to mine from. Unless I start long distance mining. The hatchery is trying to come back up, but there is the GG. Well played out of PiG. ToD, though, he played that absolutely spectacularly. So I hope you all enjoyed that. If you did, make sure you like the video. Make sure you leave a cool comment. And of course, make sure you subscribe. I get new games up every day of the week. And yeah, I'll catch all of you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.